Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. I have last my dear friend, Cynthia Junejo. She is my dear friend. Actually, she is an amazing woman from Mexico. She is a Muslim convert, and her husband is from Pakistan. That's why I thought like she has a lot to share with you about Ramadan, and also, she's a business owner in addition to her full-time job. So help me welcome my dear friend, Cynthia. Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum, Noura. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm honored to be a guest on your show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to have you here. So, Cynthia, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself? What do you do? Like your background? I always love when my guests introduce themselves because I think like no one can introduce you better than you do.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. So as you mentioned, I am Mexican American. I was born and raised here in Chicago, but both of my parents are from Mexico. I was raised in a Catholic household. Growing up, my parents were not too religious, so they were okay with us exploring, learning, as we became adults, they were okay with this. Fast forward a few years, I met my husband, and he is from Pakistan, as you mentioned. We now have been married 20 years. And we have two children. We have a son and a daughter. They are now 18 and 20. And yes, my background is in the hospitality field. I work for a law firm. I coordinate all of their events. It is a global law firm. And in our Chicago office, we have over 300 attorneys. So as you can imagine, I am pretty busy coordinating all of these events. And now that my children are a little bit older and I don't have to take them, to and from, one of the things that my daughter and I decided to do kind of to spend more time together. We both like making jewelry, so we decided to do this as our hobby. She said, why don't let's become entrepreneurs. So that's kind of how this came to be. And now that's what we do. It's been about 2 years now.
That's beautiful. And I saw your jewelry is very nice and very unique, and I love them. So I'm glad that your daughter told you to do that because it's awesome. I don't see them anywhere else except from you. And for you guys out there, you can check the Instagram page for Cynthia and to see her jewelry and order them. Actually, I want to hear from you, like being a convert. How old were you, like, and how was it Ramadan for you? Because always like we have the question like, how do you stay all this time without water? So you now like have to do it yourself, but did not grow up doing it. I'm sure it was a little bit harder than when we are trained since we were younger. So I'm not sure. I'm not gonna speak on you for you. Like I want to hear from you and let us know like how did that feel for you?
Of course. Yes. So the interesting fact about it, I started gaining interest for Islam in high school. I had a world history class, and there was like a small part of the chapter where they went over Islam, and I just really liked learning. It's something that really touched my heart, and I wanted to learn more about it. And when I met my husband, it was straight out of high school, and this is what connected us, right? My interest for Islam. And I never had to fast like this before, as you mentioned. I did fast even before converting when I was already, so I converted after marriage. Um, However, I was fasting about 4 years before I converted. So I converted now about almost 5 years ago. So total, I've been fasting about 9 years. And I think the main thing is the intention. I saw my husband was fasting, and though I hadn't converted, I wanted to do it with him. I wanted to feel what he was feeling. So in the morning, I would wake up early with him and just make the intention. I said, okay, he's fasting. He's my husband. I would love to fast with him. And it was so beautiful, at the end of the evening to have a dinner together to break our fast. So that's kind of how it came to be. And that's what I tell people. It's about your intention, your heart, it's your will to do it, and you just go with it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. How did you fast even before, just to share that with your husband? That's beautiful. So now, how do you actually celebrate Ramadan?
Yes, so we celebrate Ramadan, compared to what he told me that they used to do at home, where they had the breakfast, lunch, and dinner at his home. Ours is a little bit more laid back. He doesn't have much family here. So what we do, we begin with going for Eid prayers. We try to go to the earliest one. After that, we go to the cemetery. My father, he passed away. We go to the cemetery, then we come home. We have breakfast. We do have something small before heading out to the mosque, but we have breakfast. And then later on, for like a late lunch, we go out. It's like a lunch dinner. We go out with his sister, who is also here. So no like big celebration, because he doesn't have a lot of family here.
Yeah. And here we're talking about the day right after Ramadan, which is the Eid. This is like when people can now eat and drink all day long again. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. That is wonderful. Now, what would you, like what would you tell other people who are not fasting? How can they be compassionate about their Muslims friends who are now fasting? How can they make their day goes better and help them throughout the month?
Well, number one and most important, I think, to remember that your Muslim friends are fasting, to try to remember, and don't offer them food. It's so many people forget. And of course, we don't have a sign on our shirt saying, I'm fasting, I'm Muslim. Unless you mention it, they wouldn't know. People are warming up the lunch in the office, right? They might offer you something. So I think simply by not offering the food, just doing light activities to help the day go by faster. I feel like that really helps us get through the day. Nothing that's gonna exhaust you, and that kind of helps you get through your fasting.
That's awesome. That's a great advice. I remember when I first came to America, the coffee machine was in the same room, same room I work at, and every time they make coffee, it wasn't the Keurig back then. It was like the smell of the entire room, and that was the torture for me. So it was very hard for me at that time. So yeah. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Cynthia. So how can people order from you? Do they just send you a message on Instagram to order from your store?
Yes. So right now we just have our Instagram page, which is at Goat Girl Jewelry. So it's goat_girl_jewelry. It's gonna be the one with the brown logo. And yes, if you see anything on there that you like, if you would like to send me a direct message, we do offer shipping all over the US. And we also make custom orders. We have some orders for Eid jewelry. Feel free to send a picture of your outfit and we can customize something for you.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for being here. I'm really grateful that you were able to join us today. And you guys over there, don't forget to send me your thoughts. What would you like to see in the show? You can send me your ideas. What would you like to see at hello@echoesofimpact.net. That's hello@echoesofimpact.net. That was your host, Noura Almasri. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.